to all of you out here. Today we are continuing with our very nice power topic, Bakasana. So it's our hand balance. It's one of those very fiery and heating postures which require pretty much of central strength. So the other day we looked into how to prepare it, how to prepare the body and certain areas to get into them, to feel them better. Today we're getting on top of that and trying some variations within Bakasana. So if you feel already comfortable in balancing yourself on top of your hands and shifting your weight slightly to come into your floating posture Bakasana, this is the moment where you can step in, or I would be happy to have you trying it, okay? So first of all, there are two different sorts of Bakasana. There's a low one and a high one, and you activate your body in a different way. So we would just start with the low one, which you already might know. It's much more about having your elbows bent to the sides and lay your knees on top of your triceps. So it might be pretty easier to get in there, but in my impression, it's harder to keep it. Okay, so to really stay there, because you're not working the same line that you would do in a high Bakasana. Just have a look at it. So you see my upper body is much more even to the ground, parallel to the floor, and I don't have that very far way up with my hip to come there. So I would just shift pretty much forward and lie on that almost 90 degrees angle. What do I do in the high Bakasana? It's definitely more difficult to come in, but it's easier to stay there. So what you do there, the big difference is almost all about that your arms are pretty much straight and your knees are in the axles. So first of all, you would still try to get your elbows back to find that kind of platform for your knees, but they should be as high as possible. And your hips they're much higher now. You shift your weight forward and keep your arms straight. So as soon as you're in, you're pretty much counterbalancing between that line in your arms and your hips, giving the weight. And this is all about the high one. And now for all of you who like to play or who like to incorporate a little bit more flow into your yoga practice, I would recommend you try both, but do it at once. So try to not get out of one variation and try immediately the other one. So what I like to do is I start with a low Bakasana. You can challenge yourself there by literally bringing down your chin, come up and start squeezing as much as you can your knees and bring up your navel as high as you can, and ta-da! You're in the high Bakasana. You can get down again, bending your elbows and lengthening forward to find this very nice horizontal line in your upper body. So this is one game that you can really nicely apply to vinyasas, to chaturangas in yoga, and it might really help you a lot to understand more about feelings for your arm strength, for your arm control, for balance control. What is it about to bend your arms and get back to extend them, to work against gravity here? And well, for all Bakasana fans, there's different ways of keeping the high Bakasana and playing around with getting some more pepper into it. So let's say we are in the high Bakasana. Try to find your stabilization here by keeping your knees just where they are and find to touch your wrists, keeping your hips high. If you're comfortable here, you can do it by both. Come back up. Feel your center. You can even try to extend your legs. That's for the flexible people. And come back to find your Bakasana. A jump back is always an option for you to come out of here a little bit more activated. And yeah, that's the same way you can get back into your Bakasana. So let's say you're just in a nice downward facing dog and want to prepare to come forward. If you're still not feeling too safe with it, just try to get out the weight of your hips a little. What would you do? Think about a frog and just jump forward. And you can just squat. We're getting back into a preparative posture. And from the same way back, just feel your arms and feel how you are in charge of getting rid of your hip weight by just pushing much more into your hands and whoosh, finding your plank. So let's say you have done those jumps pretty many times. Now it's all about to find more control in slowing down that inertia in your jump, keeping your hips high, and land in your Bakasana. What is your safety here? Just always think about, in worst case, you just land like a frog with open legs and bringing your hips down. The idea in Bakasana is that those hips would never go down, they stay always up. So pretty much there is nothing that really can happen if you focus on always going forward and keeping control in your hands as long as there is weight on your hands. If you lose that weight, you might drop forward because there's too much weight going forward, or you stay back because your hips are still too heavy. So this is pretty much all about Bakasana. There's so many other postures where you can get in from Bakasana. And if you get to know more postures within our yoga flows that we do in class, you might get some feelings of where to go else. And we're definitely looking into that in the next video. For now, have fun practicing.